कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So we are in the last section of our Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, and this section is called as the section of Sthita Pragya. So I think as the devotees join in, before we will recite some shlokas. These are the 18 shlokas now which are remaining, 19 shlokas which are remaining now from 2.54 to 2.72. They are also very, very beautiful shlokas in the life of a sadhaka. So we'll try to recite so that in the by tomorrow or max to max in the next third session from today, first, second, and third, we should have completed this chapter, and we'll go to third chapter then. So we are in the second chapter. Till now we discussed about the four things. The first few verses discussed about the importance of Guru. Then we discussed about the identity. Then we discussed about two prescribed duties, that is Swadharma and Sanatan Dharma. And latter Krishna urged Arjun to perform Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. And then the good teacher, he gives comparison and contrast between what is right, what is wrong. And he urges a student that this is the only conclusion. So till now, Krishna described that don't get too much impressed by the flowery words of the Vedas. The Vedas, they give a lot of promises and they're all flowery words. Don't get too much impressed by the flowery words. They are actually Veda. If you follow them, you will just remain bound to this material world. Then follow Nishkam Karma Yoga. Don't get attracted by Karma Kand. Go for Nishkam Karma Yoga. And then later, Krishna compared the difference between Karma Kand and Nishkam Karma Yoga. And now we are going to jump into one very, very beautiful section that is called as the section of Sthita Pragya. So we'll recite certain shlokas before we start today. So all of you can recite at your own place. I'll recite here. So these are 2.54. These are also very beautiful shlokas which we can memorize also. Although this may not be there in exam, but very, very helpful shlokas. अर्जुन उवाच स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्तस्य केशव स्थितधिं किं प्रभाषेत किम् आसीत व्रजेत किम् श्रीभगवानुवाच प्रजाहाति यदा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थमनोगतान् आत्मनि एवात्मना तुष्ट स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदुच्यते दुःखेषु अनुद्विग्नमनः सुखेषु विगतस्पृहा वीतरागभयक्रोधा स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते यः सर्वत्र नाभिस्नेहः तत्तत्प्राप्य शुभाशुभम् न अभिनन्दन्ति न द्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता यदा संहरते चायं कूर्मो अङ्गनिवा सर्वशः इन्द्रियान्द्रियार्थेभ्यस्तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनां रसवर्जं रसोऽपि यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते यततो हि अपि कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य विपश्चिता इन्द्रियाणि प्रमाथीनि हरन्ति प्रशभं मनः तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वसेहि यस्य इन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसां सङ्गस्तेषुपजायते सङ्गात् सञ्जायते कामा कामात् क्रोधो विजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रम स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति रागद्वेषविमुक्तैस्तु विषयानिन्द्रियाश्चरन् आत्मवश्यैर्विधेयात्मा प्रसादम् अधिगच्छति प्रसादे सर्वदुःखानां हानिरस्योपजायते प्रसन्नचेतसो हि आशु बुद्धिर्पर्यावतिष्ठते नास्ति बुद्धिरयुक्तस्य न चायुक्तस्य भावना न चाभवेतः शान्तिर् अशान्तस्य कुतः सुखम् इन्द्रियाणां हि चरतां यन्मनो नो विधीयते तदस्य हरति प्रज्ञां वायुर्नावम् इवाम्बसि तस्माद्यस्य महाबाहो निगृहीतानि सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यस्तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता या निशा सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जागृति संयमी यस्यां जागृति भूतानि या निशा पश्यतो मुने अपूर्यमाणामचलप्रतिष्ठं समुद्रमाप प्रविशन्ति यद्वत् तद्वत् कामयं प्रविशन्ति सर्वे स शान्तिमाप्नोति न कामकामी विहाय कामा विहाय कामान्य सर्वान् पुमांश्चरति निःस्पृह निर्ममो निरहङ्कार स शान्तिमादिगच्छति एषा ब्राह्मस्थितिः पार्थ नैनां प्राप्य विमुह्यति स्थितिवाश्यमन्तकालेऽपि ब्रह्मनिर्वाणमृच्छति हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण So welcome to today's session. So we'll recite the shlokas again and again. So that because these are very very beautiful shlokas, and these shlokas discuss about what are the qualities of a person who is steady in his spiritual life. So steadiness, nishtha. We cover this in our nishtha camp. Steadiness is very very vital quality in spiritual life. So in the previous verse 2.53, Krishna mentioned that the person who has given up his understanding about who is not after enjoyment, who is a person who wants to be fixed in his duty, who wants to perform Nishkam Karma Yoga, he has to learn this quality of steadiness. He should learn this quality of being patient. He should be steadfast forward. No matter many difficulties will come in the life of a person. So, in a life of sadhaka, there are many challenges which may come. One challenge comes due to his own body. One challenge comes due to his mind and senses. One challenge will come due to different outside situations and the world situations. But for a devotee to be successful in execution of his devotee, it is very, very vital that person remains steady. Person remains patient and tolerant. And no matter what the difficulty comes in his life, he goes ahead forward with great enthusiasm. So this is the quality of a sthita pragya. Sthita pragya means the person who is very, very steadfast, who never gives up his determination. But we know in the life of a devotee, one of the big challenges. Okay, let's take a brainstorm because this next shlokas are going to address almost every difficulty which all of us face. So all of you can write in the chat box as a sadhaka, what all things you feel are the difficulties which come in the life of sadhaka? What all difficulties come in the execution of bhakti, by which his determination to practice bhakti gets shaken up? Okay, so all of you quickly write in chat box about what all things you feel. Okay, Karthik Prabhu is telling uncontrolled mind and senses. Yeah, number one difficulty that which produces problem. Thank you, Karthik Prabhu. And someone is telling, Kaushik Prabhu is telling, balancing career and spiritual life. Yeah, yeah. Career is now one of the biggest adibhotik klesha which is coming, new klesha which has been introduced. Vaibhav Prabhu, family problems. Yeah, family is also raised some difficulties. Ram Prabhu, material desires. Akshay Prabhu, material desires. Wow, amazing. Material desires also come. Kunal Prabhu, previous conditionings. They again trouble the person. Abhijit Prabhu is telling temptations. Temptations. So many temptations come and they distract us from spiritual life. Thank you. Karthik Prabhu is saying Vaishno Apradhas. Inattentive japa or attentive japa. Vivek Prabhu. Okay. So any other thing you feel? So if you are almost all of whatever points all of you have mentioned, they are almost in the sync with whatever discussion which we are going to have now. Because Arjuna also had this difficulty. Arjuna also was going through, like Kaushik was saying, doubts. So Arjuna is also facing same difficulty. Krishna has asked him to remain steady, to remain steady. But generally we find we are not steady. Why we are not steady? Sometimes we are mood off, and sometimes we have mood on. मूड ऑन एंड मूड ऑफ. मूड ऑन रहता है तो एकदम वाह, डिवोटी के चेहरे पे एकदम मुस्कान दिखती है. आज सब कुछ संसार भक्ति लागिलो भालो, और एकदम भक्ति भालो लगने लगता है. एंड अचानक देर इज मूड ऑफ, एंड विदाउट एनी रीजन एकदम लटका हुआ मायूस फेस रहता है. क्यों? सो देर आर इंटरनल स्ट्रगल्स विच आर डिवोटी इज फेसिंग. And sadhaka, as all of you mentioned, one of the biggest struggle which a sadhaka faces is his material desires, uncontrolled mind and senses, the temptations which come in the life of a devotee. They weaken a person from inside. Although outside everything is going okay, but outside people may be appreciating us, people may be congratulating us. Hari Bol, you are such a nice devotee, you have gone such a big achievements in your life. But still inside, devotee is crying. He knows what he's inside. Only that devotee only knows that he's inside struggling like anything with his mind and senses. So Krishna, acknowledging this fact that mind and senses cause a great trouble in the life of a sadhaka, he's speaking this next 18-19 verses about. So Arjuna has very mercifully asked. Arjuna has very mercifully asked for all of us, what are the symptoms of a person who is steady? What are the symptoms of a person who has understood this knowledge of I am not this body, I am spirit soul? So Krishna spoke the knowledge of soul in the last so many shlokas. Now Krishna is telling a person who has really understood that he is not this body and soul, what all symptoms he will manifest. So Arjuna is asking this question. So let's go ahead with our 2.54. So in between, I will also show you some small PPT which has some discussion from Vishwanath Chakra Thakur or surrender on to me. Whatever is relevant, I have just copy pasted there. So yeah, 2.54. Arjuna Vacha Sitaprajnasya ka bhasha Samadhistasya Keshava Stitadhi Kim Prabhasheta Kim Asita Vrajeta Kim. Okay, so here are certain words are which are very, very beautiful. Arjuna is asking some three questions here. And the remaining rest of the chapter, Krishna is going to give answer to these three questions of Arjuna. Okay. So let's understand what all the questions Arjuna is asking. In this shloka, Arjuna is asking some three questions. So Sthita Pragya. Pragya means one who is highly intelligent. And Sthita means one who is very, very steady. So, Arjuna is asking, what are the symptoms of a person who is very, very steady and very, very highly intelligent person who has realized that he is not this body and his spirit soul. So, the next 18 shlokas, 19 shlokas which are going to come are the actually for people who have perfected their spiritual life. So, not that, and sadhakas, those who are aspiring to attain this platform. So, Sita Pragyasya Ka Bhasha. Bhasha means what is the language? What language they speak? Or how to describe Bhasha? Matlab, how to describe a person who is Sita Pragya? That is another meaning of this. Sthita pragyasya ka bhasha means how to describe a person who is steady. Samadhi tasya Keshava. Samadhi. I heard that Sthita Pragya people are in Samadhi. So what are the people, what are the symptoms of people those who are in Samadhi? Keshava. Keshava. Okay, anyone can quickly tell? We discussed certain meanings of word Keshava. Anyone who knows? Keshava. What is meaning of word Keshava? You can write in chat box or can unmute and speak also in case you
Guruji,
know.
has curly locks of hair. That's why he's called Keshav. And because he has killed Keshi demon, that's why also he's called Keshav.
Okay, very beautiful. Any other meaning? We discussed one more meaning of word Keshava in earlier in first chapter. So
Uh,
Keshava.
Keshava, his long hair of
What Prabhu?
due to Krishna's hairs are so beautiful. That's why he's Krishna.
Okay, okay. Thank you. So there is one more meaning of word Keshava. One is Ka Isha Shiva. So Ka Ishava. So that one who gives pleasure to even Brahma and Shiva. That is also called as Keshava. The person who gives pleasure even to Brahma and Shiva. So there is a meaning of that. In the first chapter it comes. It's also called as Keshava. So Sthita Pragnasya ka bhasha Samadhi stasya Keshava Sthitadhi kim prabhasheta. सो पर्सन हु इज वेरी स्टेडी, जिसकी बुद्धि बहुत स्टेडी है, धी मतलब बुद्धि, किम प्रभाषेत. सो फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज, हाउ ही स्पीक्स. प्रभाषित मीन्स हाउ ही स्पीक्स, हाउ ही सिट्स एंड हाउ ही वॉक्स. हाउ ही सिट्स, how he sits, how he speaks, and how he walks. So you can maybe underline and remember this word. व्रजेत. व्रज व्रजन व्रज करना. व्रज मतलब क्या? वॉक करना. व्रज व्रज भूमि. जहाँ पे गाय व्रज करती है, वॉक करती है, उसको कहते हैं व्रज भूमि. आसीत. आसीत मतलब बैठ जाओ. कैसा बैठता है ऐसा व्यक्ति जो स्थित प्रज्ञ है? वो किस प्रकार से बैठता है, किस प्रकार से बातें करता है, किस प्रकार से चलता है. अभी ना हो आप बोलोगे प्रभु इसमें क्या बात है, प्योर डिवोटी को आप देखोगे तो क्या कैसे बात करता है, कैसे चलता है और कैसे बैठता है. तो देर आर सम इंटरनल मीनिंग्स, लाइक देर आर सम इंटरनल मीनिंग्स ऑफ दिस वर्ड्स आसित, व्रजेत एंड प्रभाषेत. बाहर से देखोगे तो आप बोलोगे प्रभु प्योर डिवोटी भी तो हमारी तरह ही खाता है, हमारी तरह ही चलता है, कोई स्पेशल नहीं चलने में कुछ. कोई प्योर डिवोटी जो हमारी तरह ही बैठता है नीचे. लेकिन दिस इज लाइक implied meanings of this word. Sometimes as a devotees we say ना, we say प्रभु इस डिवोटी का हरि बोल हो गया, हरि बोल हो गया. व्हाट इज मीनिंग ऑफ दिस अंडरस्टैंडिंग? इस हरि बोल हो गया मतलब क्या है? हाँ वी से इधर कुछ तो गड़बड़ हो गया या तो कुछ अच्छा हो गया, राइट ना. अब कभी बोले प्रभु इसका हरि बोल हो गया, वाह क्या बात है, मतलब वी आर अप्रिशिएटिंग हिम. एंड समटाइम्स वी में से इस डिवोटी का हरि बोल हो गया, दैट मीन्स कुछ तो गड़बड़ हो गया. So there are some internal meanings of this word. So okay, let's discuss. Please read Prabhu translation.
Arjuna said, O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak and what is his language? How does he sit and how does he walk? Purport. As there are symptoms for each and every man in terms of his particular situation, similarly, one who is Krishna conscious has his particular nature talking, walking, thinking, feeling, etc. As a rich man has his symptoms by which he is known as rich man, as a deceased man has his symptoms by which he is known as a deceased, or as a learned man has his symptoms, so a man in transcendental consciousness of Krishna has specific symptoms in various dealings. One can know his specific symptoms from Bhagavad Gita. Most important is how the man in Krishna consciousness speaks, for speech is the most important quality of any man. It is said that a fool is undiscovered as long as he does not speak, and certainly a well dressed fool cannot be identified unless he speaks. But as soon as he speaks, he reveals himself at once. The immediate symptom of a Krishna conscious man is that he speaks only of Krishna and of matters relating to him. Other symptoms then automatically follow as stated below.
Yeah, so Arjuna has asked three questions: how he speaks, how he walks, and how he sits. And Srila Prabhupada is especially focusing on one, that Krishna consciousness person. His speech is a very, very vital energy of a person. what he speaks. Generally, whatever our consciousness is, we will speak that. Some those who are in political consciousness, they will speak about politics. Those who are in materialistic consciousness, they will speak about movies and other things, mundane subject matters. But a devotee, he will speak only about Krishna consciousness. So speech is a very important quality of any man by which we can understand what that person is. So artificially, we may try to be speaking about Krishna, but naturally, what comes out of our mind? Somebody is too much immersed in technology, he will only speak about technology. Somebody is too much about health conscious, he will speak about Ayurveda, homeopath, allopath. You see, so how to know what kind of a person one is? That is based on his quality of speech. So Srila Prabhupada is telling as a devotee, Krishna, as a devotee of Lord, we should only speak about Krishna or the topics concerning Krishna consciousness. So let's see what Acharyas also have to say about this. Yes, Prabhu. Ajay, you can just read once more. Yeah, this one.
Yes, Prabhuji. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak and what is his language? How does he sit and how does he walk? Arjuna wants to know how to recognize the Sthita Pragya, one in divine consciousness. He therefore asks, what are his symptoms? How does he speak? How does he sit? How does he walk? Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that Arjuna's first question asks, how is one who is transcendentally situated, Sthita Pragya, described? What are his characteristics? Krishna answers this first question in text 55. Although these questions seem to deal only with such a person's external behavior, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur reveals each question's internal meaning.
Yeah. So this is not only about language, bhasha. Bhasha means language, and prabhashita means speaks, asita means sit, and brajita means walk. But there are some internal meanings of this. So here the word is coming bhasha. Bhasha means what? How to describe a person who is a sthita pragya. So next shloka. प्रजाहाति यदा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थ मनोगतान् आत्मनि एवात्मना तुष्ट स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदुच्यते. So Prajahati Yada Kaman. So Krishna is answering the first question of Arjuna. Arjuna has asked that what are the symptoms. So step by step, Krishna is going to answer all the three questions which are asked by Arjuna. So now he's telling about first symptom. First symptom he's going to answer in this verse. Yes, bro, please read. Someone can read.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arise from the mental concoction, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in the pure transcendental consciousness. The Sthita Pragya reveals his position by having no material affection. He is detached from both happiness and misery. Rather, he is fully satisfied by fixing his consciousness on the self. Krishna next answers Arjuna's second question in the text 56-57. How does he speak? This question means how are his intelligence and words affected by others' affection, anger, and really that's not visible.
Yeah, so in other words, how does he respond? So what are the internal meanings of this shloka? First is ka bhasha. Ka bhasha means what? Let's come to this. Here it is said, what are the symptoms of a person? What is the ka bhasha? Ka bhasha means how do we describe a person who is a sthita pragya? Prabhasheta. Prabhasheta means same word. How to describe? How to describe a person who is a sthita pragya? Right? Second is asita. Asita means what? Asita means how does he sit? How does he sit? Sit का meaning क्या होता है? कि so internal meaning is how does he? Oh, sorry, prabhashita. Prabhashita means how does he respond to the difficulties which come in his life. In the next shloka, as he's saying that how does he speak? That means how are his intelligence and words affected by another's affection, anger, or neutrality? How does he respond? somebody praises us, somebody insults us, somebody shows love to us. So how do our words and intelligence are affected? That is indicated by your word prabhasheta. And here word comes asita. Asita means what? Asita means sits. So sit means how when the alluring situations are coming in his life, when the temptations are coming in his life. So a Sita Pragya person, he sits, he doesn't run after them. And when opportunities for some spiritual opportunities are coming, then he vrajeta, he walks towards them. So vrajeta means he goes towards opportunities. And when temptations are coming, he sits down. He doesn't walk towards the temptations. So in that is the metaphorical language, this is being explained. Sita pragyasya ka bhasha samadhi stasya keshava. So let's read the Srila Prabhupada's purport here. Srila Prabhupada is writing, yes, bro, can read Darshan, bro?
Perfect. The Bhagavatam affirms that any person who is fully in Krishna consciousness or devotional service of the Lord has all the good qualities of the great sages, whereas a person who is not so transcendentally situated has no good qualifications because he is sure to be taking refuge in his own mental concoctions. Consequently, it is rightly said herein that one has to give up all kinds of sense desire manufactured by the mental concoction. Artificially, such sense desires cannot be stopped. But if one is engaged in Krishna consciousness, then automatically sense desires subside without extraneous efforts. Therefore, one has to engage himself in Krishna consciousness without hesitation, for this devotional service will instantly help one onto the platform of transcendental consciousness. The highly developed soul always remains satisfied in himself by realizing himself as the eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord. Such a transcendentally situated person has no sense desires resulting from the petty materialism. Rather, he remains always happy in the natural position of eternally serving the Supreme Lord.
Yeah. So here he's describing okay what how to describe a person who is a Sthita Pragya. So Krishna is telling सबसे पहले such a person gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification which arise from mental concoction. Mental concoction. So it is said all the desires, the sense gratificatory desires which arise in mind are mental concoction. There is no pleasure. It's just an imagination. The materialistic desires, the materialistic pleasure, the temptations. There is one another shloka also. Prabhupada is referring here that Prabhupada is telling that Yasyastir Bhaktir Bhagavati Rakinchana. So there is another shloka in Bhagavatam which mentions Manasijam. Which shloka? Anyone remembers? That which this word comes, Manasijam.
In Gopi Geet, Prabhuji.
Gopi Geet, okay. One another shloka, very famous shloka. Prabhupada quotes about sex pleasure. यन्मय धुनादिगृहमेदि सुखम हि तुच्छम. आगे किसको पता है?
कंडू नयेन इवयोरिव दुःख दुःखम तृप्यन्ति नेह भजनो इव दुःख भाजान कंडू तिवम मनसिजम उसके सामने क्या है? कंडू
हाँ,
तिवम मनसिजम विषहेत द्रह कुछ तो है प्रभु जी, याद नहीं आ रहा.
yeah, विषये तधीरा manasijam. Manasijam means all the the desires for sense gratification, they are mental concoction. They are imaginations of the mind. So a person who has understood that he is not this mind, he is not his body, a person who has understood he is not his senses, such person is not affected by the desires for sense gratification. So he understands this is my mind. This is my senses acting. This is my tongue. I am not tongue. This is my belly. I am not this belly. This is my genital. This is not, I am not this. So you see, such a person, he understands that I am different than this. So this is the symptom of a Sthita Pragya. He is not affected by the desires of sense gratification because he understands that these are all mental concoction. But now somebody may say, Prabhuji, it is very easy to say. But generally, we get carried away by mind. We forget all the philosophy when the temptations come. That is because mind is not purified. So because all these slokas are being spoken on the perfected level. So a person whose mind is purified, he finds such a great satisfaction in Atma. He derives the pleasure of Atma. Because currently we are identifying with the body, we are trying to take pleasure in the bodily connections. But when we are sufficiently understood, properly convinced that we are not this body, we are Atma, then we will take pleasure in satisfaction of Atma. So this shloka is mainly discussing about what are the symptoms. So now Krishna is going to speak uh, about Prabhasheta. Prabhasheta means that how he speaks, and somebody shows him affection, somebody shows him some misery comes in his life. How does he respond to all this? So next shloka will discuss about this also. Dukkeshu anudvignamana, sukeshu vigataspriha, vitaraga bhaya krodha, sitadhir muniruchyate. So we are discussing, Krishna is answering the question of Kim Prabhasheta. How does he speak? So 56.
One who is not one who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind. Purport. The word Muni means one who can agitate his mind in various ways for mental speculation without coming to a factual conclusion. It is said that every Muni has a different angle of vision, and unless a Muni differs from other Munis, he cannot be called a Muni in the strict sense of the term. Naseva Sher Yasya Matam Na Bhinam. Mahabharata. But a Sthita Dhira Muni, mentioned herein by the Lord, is different from an ordinary Muni. The Sthita Dhira Muni is always Krishna consciousness, for he has exhausted all his business of creative speculation. He is called Prashanta Niveshena Mano Rathantara, or one who has surpassed the stage of mental speculation and has come to the conclusion that Lord Sri Krishna or Vasudev is everything. Vasudeva Sarvam iti Saha Mahatma Sudurlabha. He is called a Muni fixed in mind. Such a fully Krishna conscious person is not at all disturbed by the onslaughts of the threefold miseries, for he accepts all miseries as the mercy of the Lord. Thinking himself only worthy of more trouble due to his past misdeeds, and he sees that his miseries, by the grace of the Lord, are minimized to the lowest. Similarly, when he is happy, he gives credit to the Lord, thinking himself unworthy of happiness. He realizes that it is due only to the Lord's grace that he is in such a comfortable condition, unable to render better service to the Lord. And for the service of the Lord, he is always daring and active and is not influenced by the attachment or aversion. Attachment means accepting things for one's own sense gratification, and detachment is the absence of such sensual attachment. But one fixed in Krishna consciousness has neither attachment nor detachment because his life is dedicated in the service of Lord. Consequently, he is not at all angry even when his attempts are unsuccessful. Success or no success, a Krishna conscious person is always steady in his determination.
These are all the golden verses of Bhagavad Gita. So golden purports of Srila Prabhupada, right now. So we can imagine when Srila Prabhupada is writing this, he himself is beyond Sita Pragya, Paramhamsa. And Srila Prabhupada demonstrated this through his own life and example. Success or no success. Whether success is there, no success is there, a Krishna conscious person is very steady in his determination. Why? Because he has given up this mental concoction. He has given up this mental speculation. And he has accepted Krishna. So now, here it is said, how does he speak? So here it is said, when Sukheshu Anudvigna Mana. Dukkheshu Anudvigna Mana. Anudvigna. Sometimes there are going to be miseries which are we are going every day, day to day, time to time, every moment to moment. Sometimes some miseries will come in our life. Anudvigna. They will create some dvigna in our mind. And there will be some appreciations which will come. Sukheshu Vigata Spriha. So he said Sukheshu. Sukheshu means some sukha will come and some dukkha will come. So sometimes Vita will come, Raga will come. So Vita Raga is beyond Bhaya and Krodha. Sita Dhir Muni Ruchyate. So he said this is a part of life. That dukkha and sukha is a part of life. So person, how he speaks. So when dukkha comes, a Sthita Prajna person, how he speaks? He speaks means what is his consciousness? So So speaks means his consciousness is that all this difficulty is coming to me because of my prarabdha karma, my past misdeeds, and I'm suffering because of that. Srila Prabhupada is writing here that he accepts all miseries to be mercy of Lord, and he sees that all this is due to my past misdeeds. And okay, who will contribute to telling the shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, and which canto you have to tell where this exactly the same statement is coming? Okay, raise your hands. Don't speak directly. You can raise your hand. Which shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam says exactly same thing? That a devotee should consider the miseries coming in his life as a mercy of Lord. Okay. Yes, Kunal Prabhu.
Guruji, Brahmaji tells, I don't remember the canto, but that verse, Tatyenu Kampa Susamikshmano Gunjana Evatma Kripam Vipakam Yadva Vipurvir Vitadam Namaste Jive Toyo Mukti Pade Sadayava.
Hari Bol, Sadhu, Sadhu, Jai, Jai. Beautiful. This is in the 10th canto, 41 chapter. This shloka comes that about Tattenu Kampa Susumikshamano. So this is the consciousness which a devotee should carry. He should be firmly convinced. Whatever miseries I am getting in my life is also mercy of Lord. And actually, I deserve much more bad than this. But Krishna is so merciful that he is giving me so less. Srila Prabhupada, once one devotee was doing sabji cutting and he said his finger got cut. He asked Prabhupada, my finger got cut. Prabhupada said, your head was supposed to get cut. So we know that all miseries which are coming in our life, we should think it to be mercy of Lord. And they are the blessed, the minimum possible miseries coming to us, especially for a devotee. We deserve much more bad. Similarly, somebody appreciates us, somebody gives some credit. So he said he thinks that actually this is also coming to me because of my prarabdha karma. It is not that I am some very great devotee or Lord. He thinks it is mercy of Lord that Lord is giving me this, but he also thinks that okay, this is coming because of prarabdha karma, and he is not very too much attached to success or failure. Neither he is averse. So Prabhupada is saying one very beautiful thing. For the service of the Lord, a devotee is very daring and very active and is not influenced by attachment and aversion. Attachment and aversion generally they are about moods. हम बोलते हैं ना प्रभु आज मूड कर रहा है सेवा करने का आज मूड नहीं कर रहा है. So he said don't be too much affected by the mood swings because a mood is connected to mind and mind is material only and we are not this material body. We are different than this material body. So don't go after mood swings. Today is the mood, high mood, low mood. A devotee is always daring and active and is not influenced by attachment and aversion. Sure, there is a statement which mentions Prabhupada writes, attachment and aversion, they are two sides of same coin. Somebody is too attached to the pleasures or somebody is too averse to the pleasure. That is also same. Like somebody says, I'm somebody is too attached to women. He will also think of women constantly. Somebody is too averse to women. He will say, oh, this is not good, this Maya. But he's also remembering about women only. So both are very bad. Attachment and aversion. Both are bad. Because so attachment means accepting things for one's own sense gratification. And detachment is absence of sensual attachment. So he said, devotee in Krishna consciousness has neither attachment nor detachment. He accepts whatever is needed for the service of Lord. So Prabhupada mentions the devotee is not angry when his attempts are unsuccessful. Naturally, when we render some seva to the Lord, we take some efforts. Many times our attempts will be unsuccessful. But a devotee is not angry. He thinks, oh, I got chance to serve. Let me be happy about this. So here another shloka, here it is being answered about is Kim Prabhasheta. We are seeing answer to that shloka only. Kim Prabhasheta. Let's see what he speaks about this. Okay, bro, please read 2.5657. Just read the translation.
No one is disturbed in the mind, even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness. And who is free from attachment, fear, and anger is called a sage of steady mind. In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising in it nor Despising it is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge.
Yeah, so next shloka is 57 shloka. I have covered that also here. यः सर्वत्र नाभिस्नेहास् तत्तत् प्राप्य शुभाशुभम् नाभिनन्दन्ति न द्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. So this word, tasya prajna pratishtita, this word will keep on coming again and again here. Hmm? This word will come again and you will see this word again and again here. Tasya prajna pratishtita. This word will again and again come. So these are the symptoms. So here is telling in the material world, many goods will come, many bad things will come. So one should not too much praise when he's successful, and one should not feel so much sorrow also when he's unsuccessful. So these are all like let's say suppose somebody is working in a company, IT company, and he may get a promotion. We know that okay, from earlier he was some software engineer, and now he has become senior software engineer, or he's become a project lead and team lead and project manager. So he said, ideally, a Siddha Prajna person is not too much affected by some such a material achievements also, or some material success, because he knows, okay, this is just degrees only. I can nowadays, so all certificates and all achievements have just become a PDF file. That's all. In PDF file, one PDF comes to you on your LinkedIn profile, and we say, wow, my link, some text has changed on the website. That's all. Instead of software engineer, after 10 years of hard work, you have become senior. One SR has added, and we think, wow, great achievement in my life. Now SR has come. Senior, I have become senior. Or earlier team lead was there, now I become project lead. It's just a change of names only. It's a string of names. All achievements of the material world, success, failures are just a strings of name. Promotion, demotion, all are like this. So devotee is not too much affected by just worldly achievements, and is not too much disturbed also when there are failures. So continuing this theme, he speaks about, yeah. Please read this, bro. This is some. This is written by Vishwanath Chakra Thakur. Yeah.
Sthita Dhir Muni is both fixed in knowledge and aloof from material world. He lives on the transcendental platform and therefore his mind cannot be materially disturbed. Srila Prabhupada writes, such a fully Krishna conscious person is not at all disturbed by the onslaughts of the threefold miseries, for he accepts all miseries as the mercy of the Lord, thinking himself only worthy of more trouble due to his past misdeeds, and he sees that his miseries by the Lord's grace are minimized to the lowest. Similarly, when he is happy, he gives credit to the Lord, thinking himself unworthy of the happiness. These symptoms describes a Krishna conscious person, but they may be also described one who is liberated but not Krishna conscious. An exalted devotee is unaffected by the material happiness or distress because of his consciousness has nothing to do with matter. But one who is simply liberated in Brahman may be neutral in relation to the material world, while having no positive engagement in Krishna consciousness. Thus, these symptoms are applicable to the both personalities and personalists and impersonalists, though Srila Prabhupada emphasized how they apply to personalists. The next question, how does he sits? Means, how does he not engage his senses? What is his mentally when his senses are restrained from their objects? Krishna answers in the next two verses.
Yeah. So now you see. So here is a description about how does he speak. Speak means what is his consciousness when the temptations and the disturbances and happiness and unhappiness is coming in his life. So what is the word for sit? I mentioned. Who can tell? What is the word which is uh,
Asit.
Prabhasheta is speak? What is the
Asit.
word for asita? Asita. How does he see it? So basically, how does he see it means how does he not engage his senses? How a Sthita Pragya person does not engage his senses. That is, how does he see it? So now Arjuna may think, if you see entire Bhagavad Gita is mainly for convincing Arjuna to fight. So now Arjuna may think, okay, good part. I understood Sthita Pragya. So this is applicable to both Mayavadis also and devotees also. That they also exhibit all this quality of Sthita Pragya, that they are also not affected by material happiness, distress. So Arjuna may think, okay, let me now be peaceful. Let me go to forest and not fight. Let me be steady in happiness and unhappiness. Arjuna may come to this conclusion. So now Krishna is talking about how does he not engage his senses. Yeah. Yada samharate chayam kurmo anganiva sarvashah indriyani indriyarthebhyas tasya prajna pratishtita. So, very easy to memorize all these shlokas because this word will keep on coming. Prajna, 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 pratishtita. Sita prajna, tasya prajna. So this word will come many times in this entire section. So tasya prajna pratishtita. Yada samharte chayam. Kurmo anganiva sarvashah. Kurmo. Kurma means like a tortoise. Yes, bro, please read.
He is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects as
Oh, you have to
tortoise.
read the translation what I mentioned here.
Oh, sorry. Such a person uses his senses only when required. Whether or not that restraint is difficult for him is described in next verse.
Yeah.
59.
Yeah. So here, okay, let's read the Prabhupada's translation and purport. So here is speaking about tortoise. One person from whom we should learn a lesson in our life. That is tortoise. Yes, bro. Read now.
One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects, as the tortoise draws its limbs within the shell. It is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. Purport. The test of yogi,
Uh,
devotee, or
1 minute. Which one? Okay, sorry. I am just reading. Yeah. Correct. Yes, bro. Please read.
purport. The test of a yogi, devotee, or self realized soul is that he is able to control the senses according to his plan. Most people, however, are servants of the senses and are thus directed by the dictation of the senses. That is the answer to the question as how to the yogi is situated. The senses are compared to venomous serpents. They want to act very loosely and without restriction. The yogi or the devotee must be very strong to control the serpents like a snake charmer. He never allows them to act independently. There are many injunctions in the revealed scriptures. Some of them are do nots, and some of them are do's. Unless one is able to follow the do's and the don'ts, restricting oneself from sense enjoyment, it is not possible to be firmly fixed in Krishna consciousness. The best example set herein is the tortoise. The tortoise can at any moment wind up its senses and exhibit them again at any time for particular purposes. Similarly, the senses of Krishna conscious persons are used only for some particular purpose in the service of Lord and are withdrawn otherwise. Arjun is being taught herein to use his senses for the service of the Lord instead of for his own satisfaction. Keeping the senses always in the service of the Lord is the example set by the analogy of tortoise who keeps the senses within.
Yeah. So here the analogy which is mentioned here is that a devotee of Lord uses his senses only for some particular purpose in the service of Lord and withdrawn. So like a devotee may use his tongue after this lecture now breakfast time. So devotee can use his tongue for the service purpose that is tasting Mahaprasad. Now, but now he goes to company and so many food objects will come. No, the tongue is now closed. Tongue cannot accept now anything unless something is prasadam. As soon as prasadam is there, tongue will come out. And if it is not prasadam, tongue will go inside. Similarly, eyes will watch deities like anything. Eyes khul ke dekhega eyes. But no, something which is not to be seen, that billboard is there, eyes will get closed. We said a devotee learns from this tortoise how to engage his senses. So here example is said ki okay, a devotee should be very alert. No, you should not think that somebody is sthita pragya, then he can now act in any way. No, he should be still he should be very careful. Like a snake is not allowed to come out, even by snake charmer. He keeps under control. Similarly, a devotee should be very careful, not allowed senses to act independently. So, because which loka says senses are compared to venomous serpents. Any shloka? Okay. You can find out where it is said the senses are compared to venomous serpent. You can try to find out this one. Very famous shloka. So, okay. So this is the test of a yogi, that he is able to control the senses according to his plan. Now, coming to the very, very famous shloka. Now, अर्जुना में it में से कि प्रभु ये बहुत डिफिकल्ट पड़ रहा है सेंसेस कंट्रोल करना. सेंसेस कंट्रोल करना बहुत डिफिकल्ट पड़ता है. चलो माना कि सेंसेस को कंट्रोल कर भी दिया. जैसे कि दो तीन प्रकार ऐसा सेंसेस कंट्रोल करने के लिए ऐसा प्योर डिवोटी होने की जरूरत नहीं है. दो प्रकार के लोग सेंस कंट्रोल कर पाते हैं. चलो अभी लेट्स कंसिडर एन एग्जांपल. आई आस्क यू क्वेश्चन टू ऑल ऑफ यू. Let's say there is a very very beautiful feast which is being made in voice, and all the special items are there: rasmalai, rabdi, and pani puri, kachoris, and pasta, pizza. All items are made in one day. गोवर्धन पूजा के लिए ऑफर किया है हमने. मध्वाचार्य के डिसअपियरेंस डे के दिन आज हमने ऑफर किया है, भोग लगाया है. एंड नाउ देर इज फास्टिंग टिल नून एंड प्रसादम दिया है सबको आज. So now two kinds of devotee will take prasadam in limitation. Can you tell who will take in limitation? There are two kinds of devotee. They will take very, yeah.
This is one.
Okay, this is one. He will also be very, very sense controlled. Pizza, oh no problem, bro. You take, you take, you take. And those who are deceased and those who are self-controlled. Thank you, Kaushik, bro. So those who are deceased and those who are self-controlled. Self-controlled people, they know. Oh, if I take more, I'll get diseased. And deceased person knows I am already deceased. Already yesterday what I took has not come out from the stomach till now. If I take more, it has not come out properly. So he said if I take more, it will create more trouble for the belly. So you see, there are two kinds of people. So sometimes we find some devotees are very sense controlled, but many times many are diseased. That's why they don't take food. Very less quantity they take. They're deceased. So now if this is the control, this is a symptom that somebody who sense controlled is considered to be Sthita Pragya. So Krishna Arjun telling, don't think that much only. Krishna is telling, don't think this much is the only symptom. Because जो पर्सन डिसीज्ड है ना, उसको पिज्जा अच्छा लगता है, उसको पानी पूरी अच्छा लगता है, उसको अंदर टेस्ट है, हैंकरिंग है, स्वीट राइस खाना, रबड़ी खाना, सबका टेस्ट है. समहाउ आर्टिफिशियली कंट्रोल कर रहा है मन को. बिकॉज आर्टिफिशियली कंट्रोल कर रहा है, उसको पता है क्या डेंजर है इसका. लेकिन कभी कभी डिसीज व्यक्ति भी भर भर खा लेता है एकदम. जब उसका मन कंट्रोल के बाहर जाता है, एकदम भर के खा लेता है वो पूरा. सेंस कंट्रोल हो नहीं पाता उससे. सो सी सिमिलरली डिवोट. सो अर्जुन यहाँ पे अर्जुन बता रहे हैं, कृष्णा बता रहे हैं कि ऐसा मत सोचो कि केवल किसी ने सेंस कंट्रोल कर लिया है तो वो ये बन जाता है. लेकिन कौन जो व्यक्ति है जो सेंस कंट्रोल एक्चुअल में कर पाता है, तो ये है वो. ऐसा व्यक्ति कौन है जो एक्चुअल में सेंस कंट्रोल कर पाता है? विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिना रसवर्जं रसोऽपि यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते.
So, though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remains. But seizing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. Purport. Unless one is transcendentally situated, it is not possible to cease from sense enjoyment. The process of restriction from sense enjoyment by rules and regulations is something like restricting a deceased person from certain types of eatables. The patient, however, neither likes such restrictions nor loses his taste for eatables. Similarly, restriction by some spiritual process like Ashtanga Yoga in the matter of yama, niyama, asana, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyana, etc. is recommended for less intelligent persons who have no better knowledge. But one who has tasted the beauty of the Supreme Personality of Supreme Lord Krishna in the course of his advancement in Krishna consciousness no longer has a taste for dead material things. Therefore, restrictions are there for the less intelligent neophytes in the spiritual advancement of life. But such restrictions are only good until one actually has a taste for Krishna consciousness. When one is actually Krishna conscious, he automatically loses his taste for pale things.
So beautiful. that restrictions are there for less intelligent neophytes, but restrictions are only good until one has taste for Krishna consciousness. That's why this shloka says higher taste. There is no alternative. There is no replacement for higher taste. We may hear hundreds of philosophy, we may hear hundreds of lecture on mind control, sense control, but there is a need of a higher taste. That's why we have a Govinda's restaurant. Govinda's, the higher taste. The slogan is there, higher taste. So this okay. Now let's do a little brainstorm about if all I would like request all of the devotees to contribute that something about higher taste. Okay, let's have a discussion about higher taste because this is a very vital shloka of Gita. So I'm asking a question about what are the different activities in Krishna consciousness which can award us higher taste? So my question again I'm writing is you have to write in chat box what all are the different Krishna conscious activity can award or you have experienced that they can award us higher taste. Okay. So different devotees may have different things which can award them higher taste. Or if you can write quickly that you have experienced some higher taste in Krishna consciousness. Okay. So some devotees are saying here dancing Sankirtan, Vivek Prabhu is telling. Rishang Prabhu gets higher taste by dancing in the Kirtans. Darshan Prabhu, chanting. Oh wow, very rare. Chanting also gives higher taste. Ashish Prabhu is very happy with all the Navda Bhakti limbs. Thank you. Vivek Prabhu is telling dancing in Kirtans, morning program. Relishing Srimad Bhagavatam. Wow, amazing, higher taste. Abhinandan Prabhu, Prashad, and Yatra. Yeah, ये सबका secret यही है. Prashad. Prashad higher taste easily देता है. Rohit Prabhu is saying Prashad and some seva and going for yatra. Acha, Abhijit Prabhu gets higher taste by association of senior Vaishnavas. Thank you. Ravi Prabhu gets higher taste by Rajbhog nahi hai bol Rajbhog Mahaprasad. We should not eat Rajbhog. We should eat Rajbhog Mahaprasad. Rajbhog is for Krishna and Rajbhog Mahaprasadam is for us. Akshay Prabhu is telling discipline and consistency gives him higher taste. Thank you. Rohan Prabhu, Yatra. Tejas Prabhu is getting higher taste by philosophical studies, preaching, kirtan, dancing, worship, mridanga, kirtan, preaching, dancing, reading association, association of senior Vaishnavas, and Maharisham Prabhu is saying Mahaprasade Govinde, dancing kirtan, serving Mahatmas, hearing from Srila Prabhupada, pleasing superiors, mridanga, philosophy, Chaitanya Charitamrita pastimes, senior devotees. Okay, Prabhu Sapnil Prabhu is telling dressing Srila Prabhupada and prasad, association. Abhinandan Prabhu is telling by Radhesham Prabhu, backup DT services, DT worship, playing mridanga, Tulsi Maharani. Actually, this all things are very vital things, Prabhu. It may appear very common, but we can note them that this is the place where higher taste is available. What all of you contributed. So if we engage our mind and senses in all of these things, then mind will not get distracted to wrong things. So we are to all of us are looking for higher taste because just by restraining the senses, it is not going to work. Similarly, here what Krishna is telling, just let's read this one.
Such a
Yes.
person uses his senses only when required. Whether or not that restraint is difficult for him is described in the next verse.
Continue, read
Uh,
entire.
the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, though the taste for sense objects remains. But seizing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. A transcendentalist's renunciation is not difficult because he has a higher taste. This is especially true of Vaishnavas. As a tortoise naturally draws its limbs into its shell, devotees naturally and fully withdraw their senses from matter by engaging them in Krishna's service. In text 60 to 63, Krishna explains the danger of Arjuna's plan to renounce work and go to the forest to gain knowledge and avoid sinful reaction.
So having understood all these things, that okay, these are the symptoms of Sita Pragya. He focuses on higher taste and everything. But still now, Krishna is going to speak about there is a danger. There is a danger. What is a danger for a sadhaka? Or what is a danger if you do not have proper work and if you do not have proper engagement? Then what is the danger you are going to face? So in the 60 to 63, this shloka is going to come now. That what is the nature of senses? Despite of having heard hundreds of philosophy, but there is a great danger. Yatato hi api kaunteya purushascha vipaschita indriyani pramathini haranti prashabham mana. Yes, Prabhu, whose turn? Please read.
The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjun, that they forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. Krishna is telling Arjun, do not give up work, do not become a jnani, a man who simply discriminates between matter and spirit. Perform your duty in Buddhi Yoga. Krishna is showing Arjun the defect of Gyan in order to propose the superiority of Bhakti Yoga.
Yeah, so now Arjuna may think somebody who's Sita Pragya, his mind is under control, his senses are under control. Then, okay, by doing this much, I can become a Jnani because Jnani also controls like that. So here, Krishna is pointing out that Jnani, he will also fail in his attempt. Just by knowing body, soul, difference, controlling the senses, it is not going to work. You cannot give up your work. You have to work in a right manner. Do not become Jnani. Why? Yatato hi api kaunteya purushascha vipaschita. Vipaschita means a person who has discrimination. Person who has sufficiently understood that I should not engage in wrong activities. Such a person is also forced by senses to act in a wrong manner. Why? As if somebody is forced. Arjuna, Krishna is telling haranti prashabham mana. Haranti. हरंती मतलब हर लेता है, हमारे इंटेलिजेंस को चोरी कर लेता है और ऐसा लगता है कि मेरे सेंसस पे फोर्स मारा गया है और मुझे गलत काम करने के लिए फोर्स किया जा रहा है. So this is what Krishna is telling to Arjuna. So Prabhupada is writing very beautifully in the purport here. So Arjuna is being asked, do not become Jnani. Hmm? There is a fault with Jnani also. That Jnani may discriminate, but his senses may also fail sometimes. Yes, Prabhu. So Prabhupada will quote about Vishwamitra.
There are many learned sages, philosophers, and transcendentalists who try to conquer the senses, but in spite of their endeavors, even the greatest of them sometimes fall victim to material sense enjoyment due to the agitated mind. Even Vishwamitra, a great sage and perfect yogi, was misled by Menka into sex enjoyment, although the yogi was endeavoring for sense control with severe type of penance and yoga practice. And of course, there are so many similar instances in the history of the world. Therefore, it is very difficult to control the mind and senses without being fully Krishna conscious. Without engaging the mind in Krishna, one cannot seize such material engagements. A practical example is given by Sri Yamunacharya, a great saint and devotee, who says, Yad avadi mama cheta Krishna padar vinde navanavarasadhamni udantam rantumasit taddavadi batanari sangame smaryamane bhavati mukha vikaraha shushtu nishtivanam cha. Since my mind has been engaged in the service of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and I have been enjoying an ever new transcendental humor, whenever I think of sex life with a woman, my face at once turns from it and I spit at the thought. Krishna consciousness is such a transcendentally nice thing that automatically material enjoyment becomes distasteful. It is as if a hungry man had satisfied his hunger by sufficient quantity of nutritious eatables. Maharaj Ambrish also conquered a great yogi Durvas Muni simply because his mind was engaged in Krishna consciousness. Savai manaha Krishna padara vindayor vacham se vaikunta gunanu varnane.
Yeah. So here you find very again another golden purport of Srila Prabhupada. So he said, here the solution is given. That rasavarjam. Rasavarjam means the taste for sense gratification remains in the mind. We may externally control mind and senses too much, but the taste and hankering does not go away. So what to do with such hankering? He said, therefore, it is very difficult to control mind and senses without being fully Krishna conscious. You have to become fully Krishna conscious, right? This is the solution here. Fully Krishna conscious you have to become. And how to become fully Krishna conscious? We have to engage the mind in Krishna consciousness. Many times we engage our senses in Krishna consciousness, but we forget to engage our mind in Krishna consciousness. So there is a method to engage our mind. That मन को लगाना है क्योंकि अगर मन भगवान को दे दिया ना, मन इज द लाइक अ डायरेक्टर ऑफ ऑल द सेंसेस। हमारे टंग, बेली, जेनाइटल, सब कुछ जो है, ईयर, नोज, एवरीथिंग इज कंट्रोल बाय माइंड। तो हम सेंसेस को तो लगाते हैं, लेकिन मन जो है वो भटक जाता है। सो वेर एवर देर इज माइंड इज वी आर। सो यू हैव टू लर्न टू एंगेज योर माइंड इन कृष्ण कॉन्शियसनेस। मन को लगाना है। विदाउट एंगेजिंग माइंड इन कृष्ण कॉन्शियसनेस, there are chances that any sense organ may distract us. Like you find here, Vishwamitra Muni was there. He tried his great hard to control all the senses, but still his mind was not having Krishna. His mind was focusing on only Brahman. So he said that's why his mind got agitated again. But when we have something beautiful to meditate on, that is Lord Krishna's beauty, we have Lord Krishna's pastimes to meditate upon, then mind cannot be distracted. So we have to learn to engage mind in Krishna consciousness. So now, sir, okay, can someone, all of you can help us to find all, if all of you can help all each other, all of us, how to engage a mind in Krishna consciousness? Can somebody contribute that? Because this is a such a vital point we are here, that how to engage मन को कैसे लगाना है। सेंसेस को तो हम लगा लेते हैं, लेकिन मन को लगाने का कोई तरीका बता सकते हैं कुछ लोग, कि मन कब लग सकता है भक्ति में? All of you can contribute. ओके, कौशिक प्रो सेलिंग, लेट्स मेक अ प्लान फॉर सर्विस ऑफ कृष्णा। थैंक यू। उससे बुद्धि भी इन्वॉल्व होती है, मन भी इन्वॉल्व होता है। थैंक यू। विवेक प्रो सेलिंग, साधना। थैंक यू विवेक प्रभु। साधना करने से भी एटलीस्ट कुछ समय के लिए मन तो फिलोसफी उसमें जाता है। हियरिंग एंड रीडिंग, व्हेन वी हियर, माइंड इज फोर्स टू थिंक अबाउट कृष्णा। Read scriptures in depth, like mananam, like currently we are doing mananam right now. At least in this Bhakti Shastri class, there are hundreds of distractions that may come. Somebody has worry about job, somebody has worry about different things. But at least थोड़ा तो मन लग गया है कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस में, कुछ शास्त्र पढ़ रहे हैं, chanting. I saw some devotees are attached to some limbs of bhakti. Missionary activities like preaching, taking anxiety for Krishna. This is a beautiful way of engaging mind. क्योंकि मन में दिन भर वही रहेगा, ऑफरिंग करना बचा है, सेवा करना बचा है, भगवान को प्रसाद लगाना है, कुकिंग करना है, पूरा मन लग जाता है। Thinking different ways to preach. Yeah, those who are intelligent, they can think of different ways. Doing services by putting consciousness, playing mridanga, hearing, debates. So he said, we have to give an engagement for our mind. So sometimes we should take some service by where our mind is absorbed. We have to choose सेवा of our nature according to that manner, जहाँ हमारा पूरा मन लग जाता है, पूरा मन लगाकर पढ़ाई करते हैं हम, मन लगाकर काम करते हैं, तो वैसे ही मन लगाकर सेवा कर रहे हैं, भूल जाते हैं दुनिया को। तो कौन सा सेवा हमारा कभी भी आता है ना, तो जहाँ पे हम भूल जाते हैं समय को, तो उसको कहते हैं मन। मन लगाना है। अगर मन कृष्णा में लग गया है, तो इसे बाकी जगह कहाँ जाएगा? तो कांस्टेंट श्लोका मेमोराइजेशन, दिस इज आल्सो ब्यूटीफुल वे एक्चुअली। आई आल्सो, दिस इज आल्सो माय फेवरेट वे टू रिसाइट श्लोकास। श्लोकास मंत्रा, मनत्रायते इति मंत्र। मन को कंट्रोल करने के लिए मंत्रा, मंत्रा रिसाइटेशन इज वेरी वेरी पावरफुल। टेकिंग रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज, यस ईश्वर, दिस इज आल्सो ब्यूटीफुल वे। when like just imagine a husband and wife is there. As husband takes responsibility of a married life, as a father or a husband, उसका पूरा दिन जो है लगा रहता है, बच्चों को कॉलेज में एडमिट करवाना, अरे स्कूल में एडमिट नहीं, एडमिशन देना है, बाद में उनका फीस भरना है, गैस लाना है, सब्जी लाना है, दिन भर इज होम कॉन्शियस। सिमिलरली वी हैव टू टेक सम रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज टू बिकम कृष्ण कॉन्शियस। दिन भर हमारा कृष्ण कॉन्शियस बन जाएंगे हम। I remember when I was working in Persistent, once upon a time it happened, क्योंकि I was OC of voice, मायापुर was that time, and preaching coordinator, OC सब कुछ था उस समय, छोटा वॉइस सब कुछ आप ही रहते हैं। PC, OC, डस्टबिन इंचार्ज, झाड़ू पोछा इंचार्ज, कुकिंग इंचार्ज, भोगा इंचार्ज, all incharges are we are only. And sometimes when we are taken responsibilities, it's कंपनी में इतने फोन कॉल आते थे मुझे, हर आधे घंटे में 15 मिनट में फोन कॉल आता था। तो मैनेजर वंस आस्क्ड, अरे तुमको इतने फोन कॉल क्यों आते हैं? मुझे तो नहीं आते। बोले मैं मैनेजर हूँ, बोला मुझे नहीं आते। बोला हाँ, हम और भी मैनेजर है, आपकी तरह नहीं है, हमारे और भी मैनेजर है हम। हर आधे घंटे में टेंशन चल रहा है, कुक भाग गया है, उसका टेंशन, कंपनी में उसका टेंशन है, कुक भाग गया है, अरे आज डिवोटी शाम का इवनिंग प्रोग्राम देने के लिए कोई नहीं है, एंग्जाइटी लेके रखा है। तो फोर्सफुली व्यक्ति जो है कृष्णा कॉन्शियस बन ही जाता है, चाहो ना चाहो। सो व्हेन यू टेक सम सर्विसेज लाइक दिस, पर्सन इज नेचुरली कृष्णा कॉन्शियस। और जॉब तो बैकग्राउंड में चलते रहता है, this all keeps on going in background, other duties. So we have to take some responsibilities for Krishna. Okay, we'll just cover one more shloka and we'll pause today. 61. तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
Translation: one who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control, and fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as a man of steady intelligence. Perfect. That the highest conception of a yoga perfection is Krishna consciousness is clearly explained in this verse. And unless one is Krishna conscious, it is not at all possible to control the senses. As cited above, the great sage Durvasa Muni picked a quarrel with Maharaj Ambrish, and Durvasa Muni unnecessarily became angry out of pride and therefore could not control his senses. On the other hand, the king, although not as powerful a yogi as the sage, but a devotee of the Lord, silently tolerated all the sage's injustices and thereby emerged victorious. The king was able to control his senses because of the following qualifications as mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. 9.4.18 to 20. Sabhay mana Krishna Padaravindo Vachamsha Vaikunta Gunanuvarnane Karo Hare Mandira Marjan Marjanadeshu Strutin Chakarachutta Sat Kathodaya Mukunda Lingalaya Darshana Drisho Tad Britya Gatra Sparsyanga Sangamam Grahanam च तत्पादसरोजसुरभे श्रीमत् तुलसस्य रसनं तदर्पिते पादौ हरे क्षेत्रपदानुसर्पणे शिरो ऋषिकेशपदाभिवन्दने कामं च दस्य न तु कामकाम्यम यथोत्तमश्लोकजनाश्रयरति.
So here the methods are given of how to engage our mind. मन को कैसे engage करना है. So we can follow in the footsteps of Amrish Maharaj and engage our mind. Sometimes we do all the activities very ritualistically. We take darshan very ritualistically. We do the seva also very ritualistically. But let's engage our mind while doing the seva. When we are cleaning the temple of Lord, at least let's start feeling I am cleaning the temple of the Lord, which Lakshmi is cleaning. I am offering flower to the Lord. I am offering boga to the Lord. So he said one should do all these activities with a great feeling. Yes, bro.
King Ambrish fixed his mind on the lotus feet of the Lord Krishna, engaged his words in describing the abode of the Lord, his hands in cleansing the temple of the Lord, his ears in hearing the pastimes of the Lord, his eyes in seeing the form of the Lord, his body in touching the body of the devotees, his nostrils in smelling the flavor of the flowers offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, his tongue in tasting the tulsi leaf offered to him, his legs in traveling to the holy place where his temple is situated, his head in offering obeisances unto the Lord, and his desires in fulfilling the desires of the Lord. Now all these qualifications made him fit to become a Matpara devotee of the Lord. The word Matpara is most significant in this connection. How one can become Matpara is described in the life of Maharaj Ambrish. Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan, a great scholar and acharya in the line of Matpara, remarks, "Mad bhakti prabhavena sarvendriya vijaya purvika swatma drishti sulabheti bhava." The senses can be completely controlled only by the strength of devotional service to Krishna. Also, the example of fire is sometimes given. As a blazing fire burns everything within a room, Lord Vishnu, situated in the heart of the yogi, burns up all kinds of impurities. The Yoga Sutra also prescribes meditation on Vishnu and not meditation on the void. The so-called yogis who meditate on something other than Vishnu simply waste their time in vain. Simply waste their time in a vain search after some phantasmagoria. We have to be Krishna conscious, devoted to the personality of Godhead. This is the aim of real yoga.
Yeah. So there is this shloka from the one of the Upanishads that as a blazing fire burns everything within a room, similarly, when Vishnu comes in the heart of yogi, burns all kinds of impurities. So similarly, all of us, when we invite Vishnu, he's already there in our heart. Krishna is already there. But when we experience the presence of Vishnu, Paramatma, Super Soul, or Krishna, when we chant, all the impurities in our heart are burnt. And here the one word which is very vital is Matpara. If you see here, this is the Matpara, Yukta Asita Matpara. This is the only first place in Bhagavad Gita. द वेरी फर्स्ट टाइम कृष्णा इज डायरेक्टली भूल से बोल दिया कृष्णा ने भूल से बोल दिया, अरे युक्ता सीता मत पर मेरे पे मन लगाओ। जनरली क्या बोलते हैं कृष्णा कि भगवान पे मन लगाओ, ब्रह्मन पे मन लगाओ, ऐसा करो वैसा करो, लेकिन बोलते बोलते भूल से भगवान ने बोल ही दिया कि मत पर मुझ पे मन लगाओ। सी डायरेक्टली बोल दिया है ना, फिक्सेस नहीं तो ऐसा अपॉन मी। तो यहाँ पे हम मायावादी को डायरेक्टली डिफीट कर सकते हैं। मत पर मतलब कौन, क्या ब्रह्मन क्या? तो ये सेट कृष्ण ने डायरेक्टली बोल दिया ना कि मत पर मेरा डिवोटी बनो। अभी तक बताया नहीं था कृष्ण ने, बहुत इनडायरेक्टली बोल रहे थे दोस्ती के नाम पे, लेकिन अभी बोलते बोलते भगवान ने बोल ही दिया कि मत पर मेरे पे अपना मन लगाओ, तुम्हारा सब काम हो जाएगा, खत्म। So he said this is the way of becoming Krishna conscious. So thank you very much. We'll stop here. Tomorrow we'll continue from 61 to 72. 11 shlokas we'll try to cover tomorrow. And let's see, then we'll enter third chapter in the next week. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Yes, Kaushik Prabhu.
Prabhu, it is written that one should use one's body to touch the body of devotees. So how can you understand this? What does it mean? Amrish Maharaj said that. Yeah.
Yeah, direct dancing kirtan we touch, or we serve the devotees.
Like this.
We can massage the devotees, massage the feet of the devotee. We can touch, we can embrace. So this is also, sense of touch also requires an engagement. But nowadays the Kali Yuga has become very horrible. It is very dangerous to touch each other also, because I don't know, many different kinds of people have come. So, but surely, basically touch the body of devotee means serve the body of devotee. We can serve, wash their clothes, help them, the devotees. Or another way of touch sensation is somebody who requires, somebody is too much having difficulty with the sense of touch. He has that hankering for sense of touch. Then such a person is advised to engage in deity worship. Such a person, why? Because deity worship is also, his sense of touch is fulfilled. All of us have that desire to touch something soft. We have desire to touch something. So then when we touch the body of Lord also, then the desire of sense of touch is satisfied, and then mind becomes peaceful. So and such a person should engage in deity worship. Yeah, Amrish Maharaj is telling, touch the body of devotee by serving them, not in a wrong manner. Okay. Yes, Abhinandan bro.
So that higher taste question was like sometimes we get the moment and where the devotees get the higher taste, like the regular taste is there also goes in morning program and normal day life, but sometimes suppose Radha Shampoo comes, some Maharaj comes, so we get that taste, like we find that one moment or half hour is like the beyond any material thing, but again we forget that same moment, and then like as a this second point was there, like we it pretend or we tends to fall down because of forgetfulness. So if you don't hold down Proji, then I feel that most of the time the fall down happens because of we don't uh, remember or we don't hold on to that one that higher test. So how to always remember or hold that higher test?
So sadhaka means the life of struggle. Yeah, that's why these all symptoms are the symptoms of a perfected beings. These are the symptoms of a Sita Pragya, both Mayavadis and devotees. And currently we are aspiring to come on this stage. So if you, Radheshamru mentions one, if you really want to experience higher taste, one of the easy way is regulation. Our body is not regulated and our lifestyle is not very regulated, and that produces a lot of miseries in our life. We don't do proper planning, we don't do proper time, we don't sleep at proper time, we don't wake up at proper time, and then we struggle कि प्रो जब में taste क्यों नहीं आ रहा है. Actually, if somebody is in the mode of goodness and somebody's life is very regulated, he will feel a great joy. Even the it is not a spiritual taste I am talking about now. We are not discussing about spiritual taste here. We are just discussing about even material modes can also give you higher taste. Material mode, the mode of goodness itself can award us higher taste. We have to learn to situate our life in mode of goodness. Sleep at right time, wake up at right time, and follow a disciplined schedule. This itself will give us such a beyond materialistic higher taste. You imagine impersonalist people, they don't do bhakti. They don't meditate on Lord. Still they get higher taste. And they are able to give sense gratification. How? They are not meditating on Lord. They are not chanting the names of Lord with that devotion. Still, they are able to remain sannyasis and mayavadis and everything lifelong. Why? Because they are following a life of goodness. They are following the life of regulation. So, especially if you really want some doses of higher taste, another way which Radhesham Prabhu encourages all the devotees is, if you tomorrow, how many of you want to experience higher taste tomorrow only? Or raise your hand. You want to experience today, or today also you can experience, but tomorrow more you want to experience the greatest, highest taste. Then one secret formula you can try out. I can guarantee you will get higher taste. Okay. And this is experience of many devotees. So do one thing. Today go to bed too early. As early as possible you can go to bed. As early as possible you can go to bed. Go early bed. Go by 8:30 p.m. only. Make a target, Sankalpa, and let me report. So tomorrow please report to me that how many of you went to bed today early. And it is not going to happen by chance. Again remember, going to bed early is not going to happen by chance. कि हाँ हो, अगर हो गया तो हो गया. You have to plan. You have to put a reminder in the mobile. At 8:30 p.m. I'm going to sleep today. Or 9 o'clock, whatever your schedule and company thinks you have to take in consideration. 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m. Whatever you sleep generally, go at least 45 minutes or half an hour before that in general time. And wake up very early. Wake up by 3 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. or whatever time you get up 1 hour before that, and read some scriptures or recite some slokas or chant some rounds before. I can guarantee you'll get this higher taste tomorrow only. Tomorrow morning you'll be in such a great ecstasy, your entire day will be like, wow. So mainly higher taste comes by regulation. So because till the time we are not perfected beings, we have to get mode of goodness is recommended for such devotees. Okay, so thank you very much. So how many of you promise? If you promise that today we'll get to sleep one at least 45 minutes before the time, or okay, how many of you will promise that you'll sleep earlier than what you sleep today? Okay, 4 participants are raising. You have to put a reminder in mobile, huh? Then only you'll be able to do that. Sleep earlier than what you sleep in general day, and try out how you don't get high taste. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Vatarubhasya kripa sindhu mevatsa. Patita Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Thank you, Prabhus.